There's been a few instances of Kingdom Hearts experimenting with different genres outside of its traditional action RPG setup. Chain of Memories, which is a real-time action card game, Melody of Memory, which is an action rhythm game, or whatever the Kingdom Hearts mobile games were trying to do. Now, whether this is for better or for worse, it's always really interesting to see how Square Enix adapts Kingdom Hearts into a totally different format outside of action RPG. But one genre that fans have wanted to see Kingdom Hearts adapted to for an incredibly long time is a fighting game. Considering that the series has a vast cast of various different characters with already established movesets. So this is perfect for a fully established roster. The series also has various locations as Kingdom Hearts revolves around different worlds, so this is perfect for a stage lineup. Kingdom Hearts is a real-time action RPG. The game centers around fighting stuff. You would sort of think that Square Enix would have attempted this already. Well, most people actually know that Square Enix were planning on creating a Kingdom Hearts fighting game at one point before the decision to switch it to a Final Fantasy entry. This is Dissidia. Dissidia Final Fantasy released on PlayStation Portable back in 2008, with a follow-up 012 Duodecim in 2011. These are arena fighter games. They bring together a ton of the iconic Final Fantasy characters and location. The favored one here is Duodecim, as it includes more characters and refined systems. Square Enix attempted the Dissidia thing again back in 2018 with NT. Unfortunately, not a lot of people enjoyed this. However, Dissidia was originally supposed to be a Kingdom Hearts spin-off. Now, the information that circulates as to why this never happened is because Disney vetoed against it. They simply didn't want their characters portrayed in a game that solely focuses on fighting, and hence why Square Enix decided to change it to a Final Fantasy title. But that information isn't necessarily true, or at least it wasn't outright said by Tetsuya Nomura that Disney shut the idea down. More so, what was said by Nomura insinuates that Disney wouldn't have liked this type of game. Here's what was exactly said by Tetsuya Nomura. It's from the Kingdom Hearts Days Ultimania. He mentioned, "We made a game where characters from various Final Fantasy games got together to battle. This is Dissidia. But that project we were originally thinking of using for Kingdom Hearts. However, deciding it would be a bad idea to make Disney characters fight each other, it never materialized for Kingdom Hearts and ended up shifting to Final Fantasy." Now, the context of this response is in reply to the question of where did the idea to use organization members come from for the multiplayer aspect of Days, as Square Enix were coming up with the idea of Dissidia while developing Days. So that original concept of Dissidia helped conceive the multiplayer aspect of Kingdom Hearts Days, which is kind of neat to know. He did mention here that it would be difficult to bring out Disney characters and have them fight each other in multiplayer, and because of that, they decided to just use Organization 13. The playable characters in the mission mode of Days is primarily Organization 13. That being said though, you can still play as Donald, Goofy, and Mickey. So Tetsuya Nomura isn't outright saying that Disney denied the idea of a Kingdom Hearts Dissidia, but more so it seems as if this is something that Disney wouldn't necessarily be on board with. Now, we know that Square Enix have to relay back what they're doing with Kingdom Hearts to Disney. They basically have to give it the stamp of approval, and if there is something that needs to be changed, it absolutely must. Square Enix certainly do have freedom when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, but there are certain guidelines that must be followed. Now, these guidelines have clearly loosened over the years after Disney seeing that the Kingdom Hearts franchise is a success. The perfect example is in Kingdom Hearts 1, Square Enix could only legally use Mickey Mouse for a very short amount of time, and he had to be presented as a silhouette. Once Disney saw that the first game was a success, Square Enix now had more freedom to use the mouse. However, it certainly does seem that Disney are very particular on how their characters are presented. For instance, let's use Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as an example. It was a miracle to see Sora finally getting in as the final DLC fighter. This is something most people thought wouldn't happen because of Disney's control, because for anyone that doesn't know, Disney are the sole owners of Kingdom Hearts and not Square Enix. They're the ones that have the final call as to how these characters appear in other forms of media. Now, from what Tetsuya Nomura has said about Sora's inclusion into Smash, it wasn't actually Disney that caused any difficulty towards getting the character in. However though, when you look at Sora's stained glass stage, the Dive to Heart right here, you'll notice that there are no Disney characters represented where they should be on the stained glass art. Donald and Goofy should be here, but they're not. There's also no Disney character spirits for Sora. The only Disney representation, aside from Sora actually being a Disney character, is the Mickey Mouse symbol that is on the keychain of the Keyblade. So if Disney really were all for it, like Tetsuya Nomura mentioned, then you would think that the Disney characters, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, would be here. It's incredibly telling of how particular Disney are with what forms of media their characters appear in. It's ironic though, because Kingdom Hearts is literally centered around fighting as well. That's what these characters are doing all the time. I think the issue stems down to these characters fighting each other, and in a game that's genre is literally a fighting game where you could have Rapunzel versus Cinderella, Disney probably don't want that. The workaround is that you could simply just have the Kingdom Hearts characters as the fighters. I would say this should also include Donald, Goofy, and Mickey, but looking at the rest of any other Disney characters that appear throughout Kingdom Hearts, simply just either use them as summons or assist mechanics of some kind. This would avoid the Disney character versus Disney character issue that Disney seems to have. The closest we've come, I guess, by an official means of Disney doing their own fighting game would probably have to be Disney Heroes Battle Mode. It's not really a fighting game, it's a mobile RPG, which means it's not good, but it does pitch iconic Disney characters against each other. I'm surprised Disney were okay with this. There were also rumors circulating a couple of years ago suggesting that Disney were looking at developing a Disney platform fighter with Square Enix being the developers. This was later on found to be completely false and fabricated. Now you're probably curious about the footage that's been playing throughout this video. This is clearly Dissidia Duodecim. However, we have Kingdom Hearts characters. Back in 2020, a complete mod overhaul for Duodecim was in development by Koz. It pretty much brings a lot of the already developed Kingdom Hearts related mods for Dissidia into one big overhaul. Modding for this game was actually quite popular back in the day, and there were a ton of Kingdom Hearts related ones, whether it be simple model swaps for already existing characters or stages. So Koz wanted to make a Kingdom Hearts overhaul, essentially making Kingdom Hearts Dissidia. Now this isn't going to introduce completely custom move sets, this is quite basic in the terms of it simply just being more so of a cosmetic thing. Remember, this is a PSP game, and to mod a PSP game means there's going to be limitations, but it is a pretty cool thing to see. Now I believe that development on this overhaul has ceased to continue, but where Koz got up to is quite impressive. It's got a completely custom title screen, a completely custom main menu, custom icons, and even custom music. All of the summon graphics have been changed to Kingdom Hearts Union Cross medals, but most importantly, the Kingdom Hearts characters. Now, as I mentioned, these are simple model swaps of already existing characters. So, for example here, we have Xion over Lightning, and that means that she'll play like Lightning. The Kingdom Hearts characters act as alternate or DLC costumes, so one character might have multiple different Kingdom Hearts costumes attached to them. is something really cool about seeing a Kingdom Hearts character roster laid out here as if I'm playing a Kingdom Hearts fighting game, even with the stage selector containing a bunch of the familiar Kingdom Hearts locations. Though as far as the stages are concerned, while some Kingdom Hearts custom stages have been put into the game, a lot of them just aren't there. I don't think Cos got as far as putting in all of the custom stages. What's more is even a lot of the Kingdom Hearts battle music is here in the game when you're fighting, to add that extra cherry on top. In fact, there is a ton of Kingdom Hearts music that has been put into this overhaul. What it is, this is a really cool overhaul because, for one, it's really hard to find a lot of these Kingdom Hearts related Dissidia mods, as some of them are so old, and a lot of the links for them have actually been taken down or are just plain difficult to find. So this acts as one big mega pack where everything is contained in one packet. But two gives us a look at a Kingdom Hearts fighting game. I absolutely love how the Kingdom Hearts HUD has been modded in here. Now here's the thing though, I'm not really a fan of the Dissidia games. They are incredibly unique as far as a fighting game is concerned. They are absolutely one of a kind. There really isn't another fighting game that plays like Dissidia does. I mentioned that this is an arena fighter, so kind of similar to the Naruto or Dragon Ball fighting games, but I say that incredibly loosely. While everything is of course real time, I would more so describe this game as being a tactical fighting game. The idea is to knock down your enemy's bravery points all the way down to 0 and then hit them with an HP attack. You can move around in a 3D space, run up walls, do cool environmental interactions. In fact, a lot of the environment is completely destructible. It's quite a cool anime fighter, but for me personally, I never clicked with this style of gameplay. I'm not exactly a huge fan of fighting games as is already, but I'm certainly going to get more enjoyment out of playing Smash or Tekken than I would here with Dissidia. I can respect the fact though that Square Enix made something totally unique, and I know as far as looking at the first game in Duodecim, it is a cult fan favorite. I have to imagine though that if Kingdom Hearts were to receive its own Dissidia, it would play a little bit differently, perhaps being more real time and more along the lines of something like Smash, with Kingdom Hearts flavor infused into it than what we're seeing here with Final Fantasy Dissidia. As going from Kingdom Hearts' real-time, super snappy, super responsive combat system to something like this would be hard, and I can't imagine that Square Enix would want to make a Kingdom Hearts fighting game that plays like this. Back in 2020, Tetsuya Nomura did mention that they're wanting to broaden their target audience for the Kingdom Hearts series, and that Melody of Memory is only the first part of what they have in store. This means that Square Enix are wanting to try out different genres with the Kingdom Hearts series to appeal to a wider range of people. Now, Square were wanting to do a Kingdom Hearts game that has a strong multiplayer focus than either an MMORPG that is more action-orientated, or a fighting game is the perfect setup. Over the years, Disney have been loosening their grips ever so slightly with what Square can and cannot do with Kingdom Hearts. So who knows, maybe we might end up seeing a Kingdom Hearts fighting game at some point. This could be something that Square will come back to. However, it's a fun piece of Kingdom Hearts' history to know what could have been. In the meantime, at least we have a heavily modified version of Dissidia, and there's always Mugen. If you guys want to experience Kingdom Hearts Dissidia for yourself, I'll leave a download link in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. Be sure to slap that like button, it helps me out a lot, and subscribe to the channel to keep up with everything going on here. A huge thank you to my wonderful patrons for keeping the channel alive. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll talk again real soon.